The views and opinions presented on this program do not necessarily coincide with those of our ownership, management, or staff.
Welcome to Tech Talk 2020 with Sanjay Parker. I'm your humble tech host, Sanjay Parker, and I'm here with Mike Carswell to talk to you about all things technology related for your home, your business, and your life. We will make you relevant-er than you've ever been. We've got an exciting show for you today, and we're going to talk about some cool stuff that's happening in the news again, and it's around driverless or autonomous driving cars.
Good evening, everyone. This is Mike Carswell. Glad to be here with you on WINT Radio 101.5 FM and 1330 AM. Also, you can hear us on WINTradio.com. Welcome to Tech Talk 2020. As you're listening this evening, if you so feel so led, hit us up on Twitter. That's also, our handle is Tech Talk 2020. Or you can message us on Facebook, also at Tech Talk 2020. So glad to be here. Sanjay, as we hang out together, you amaze me each day with all the, amaze me with some of the things you bring up and discuss. And not discussed, but discuss. So discuss
me. Do I amaze or do I amuse?
Kind of both.
Oh, okay.
That's cool, though. But we're getting smarter together. That's the key.
That's right.
Getting smarter together.
So, scanning the news today.
Scanning the globe.
Tell me your thoughts on Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. What do you think?
I love the city. I've been to Pittsburgh. I don't like necessarily driving around the city. I enjoy their baseball field. I wouldn't be caught dead. You might yes, in their football stadium. I can't tell you how I feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers because this is not an R-rated show. But
what is the stadium called? 1.5 Rivers? What is it?
No, that's the old one. They're in Heinz Field now.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Get some ketchup going on, brother. Anyway, no, the city of Pittsburgh's cool. I've had good visits to Pittsburgh. I've done business there. My kids went to school about 45 minutes north of there, so Pittsburgh's okay with me, except that football team.
I think you are in the majority there. There's a kind of cool university there called Carnegie Mellon.
Been there, done that. I scored 26 points against them.
Nice.
3 times.
Nice. We won't ask what year.
Heck yeah, baby.
So
it was before the 3-point line, if you need to know.
Oh, the game changed. Okay, So Uber invested quite a bit of money in setting up a research and development center partnering with Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. Today we saw the first fruit of that labor. They got approval about a month ago from Pittsburgh to do some autonomous vehicle testing. Well, today...
From the city of Pittsburgh. Carnegie Mellon received permission.
Uber and Carnegie Mellon.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep, through their joint project.
Yep.
And today we saw a fleet of self-driving Uber vehicles released onto the streets of Pittsburgh.
I tell you what, the mountains and the hills of Pittsburgh, if a vehicle or an individual can drive through that safely, then I probably assume they can drive anywhere.
Right. So we're going to put a picture on our Facebook site, Tech Talk 2020, and these vehicles look like, they've got 7 lasers on top of it. It's got a LiDAR, which is like a laser radar, light sensing radar that paints a 360-degree picture of the world around it, spinning at like 60 hertz. It's got 20 cameras, multiple other sensors. It looks like, those baseball caps you wear with the 2 holders for your soft drinks.
Soft drinks.
Or other...
How about your hard drinks?
Other beverages. With a little. Yeah. It looks like a car that you put one of those things on. It's got so much of the apparatus on top. But these things...
Yes, sir.
For the heavy Uber users in Pittsburgh, when they requested an Uber X, they had the option to have the...
autonomous driving?
Autonomous vehicle come.
Wow.
100% self-driving, but each of the vehicles had 2 Uber researchers in the front seat to either take over or to note data. Now, speaking of data points, each of those vehicles...
Yes, sir.
Every second they relay back... I'm going to give you some choices.
Okay.
How many data points back to the Uber servers each vehicle? 140,000, 14,000, or 1.4 million data points.
Okay.
And I didn't say trillions like on the previous show.
So you got to help me out here. So I'm the average listener here. So data points. Tell me what a data point is before I tell you how many there are.
So when this LiDAR spins around,
Now, is that not, I remember watching Napoleon Dynamite. He made up a word of a lion and a tiger. It was a liger. So you're saying LiDAR? Is that the same kind of
light
capacity
sensing
here?
radar, right? Very
Shocking,
simple. Very
shocking.
simple.
We're getting smarter together here, folks.
And so it paints that 360-degree picture all around.
Yeah, man.
The sensors and the cameras are then used to detect colors so that the cameras can see if it's a green light or a red light or whatever kind of sign it is. And positioning, GPS location, proximity sensing of other vehicles, all of that stuff is being captured in real time, being sent to Uber's data center so they can do deep analytics.
Okay, so the data points are all the touch points that provide data.
Yep, from these sensors and onboard devices.
Okay. So you said that there's going to be 2 Uber researchers in the front seat. Are they going to take my credit card from me and swipe it up there? Or?
Are you trying to dodge my question? 140,000.
Or let's go with the million because you like fat numbers.
You got it. 1.4 million data points per second.
Per second?
Do you think...
Is that a bit obsessive?
Well, I don't think humans can process that much.
It's pretty
But
excessive.
this is what these vehicles are processing. Pretty amazing. However, during these test drives, there are still times when humans will need to take over. You read blogs today, people have already written about, a ding and then the human takes over. It's not very good on bridges because there's not enough data points on a bridge, apparently, which kind of is a safety concern there.
Really? You think?
But, on our show, it's pretty amazing. So
Yes, sir.
today we have that. On our show from less than 4 or 5 months ago, my initial data that I had was self-driving cars will be a reality in less than 10 years. Little did I know that they'd be out in 4 months.
Come on, man.
That's crazy.
Now, I've been to Carnegie Mellon University. My daughter actually played volleyball against him a couple of years ago. So I toured that campus. A lot of bright kids walking around there. And I know that it's a significantly difficult school to get into because of the academic
Rigor.
reputation and everything there. It's a great school. So to summarize, the city of Pittsburgh is now being used as a crash test dummy for autonomous driving.
Yes, and as the Chicago Tribune put it, when you get in one of these vehicles, be prepared to be thrilled and bored at the same time.
Not horrified?
Nope,
Okay.
because it accelerates like a human, it slows down like a human. The Uber VP of Research had a video released today, and he said 1.3 million deaths globally in vehicular accidents every year. And we cited that stat before.
Sure.
What he also said is 94% of those deaths are caused by human error.
Well, those are statistics. I'm not saying I doubt that that's a role, but
I know, statistics, facts.
No.
I mean, who
Statistics
cares?
are what? Statistics are what? Every survey is 85% of the statistics are correct. I don't know. No, 94% is caused by human error.
That means 6% caused by acts of God or
Engine failure,
failure of the vehicle,
or
right?
flat tire, or whatever. Okay,
Mother
so-
Nature. Yeah.
So you're blaming us.
Well, the data does, even if the data is 20% off, you're still looking at 3/4.
I would not doubt that it's not significant, but I just don't like 94. That's a little fat.
So,
Could be road conditions. Come on, man. Potholes. Yeah. See, our board op agrees with me. Come on, 94. That's
Mike,
pretty high.
Mike,
Yeah.
the humans have lost. Let it go. So,
Yes.
when you're in your self-driving car in the future with no steering wheel,
Only
and you're
self-driving,
kicking back,
you'll be driving me.
you're kicking back and making shots on your little papa shots on your little basketball hoop in the back,
So-
reminiscing about the day.
The day.
Right. And when your car is taking you around to do
Glory
your
days.
book signings, you're going to be very happy that you've, moved forward with the technology.
I will be. Speak it, brother. Speak it.
All right. So, sounds totally sci-fi, all of this stuff with these self-driving cars. But let me just give you an idea of where we've come. So, in the past 4 months, nobody thought we'd have fully autonomous vehicles, right out on the road already.
I said by 2020. That's when I've shared it with individuals in conversations. I said, by 2020, we're going to have a significant number of autonomous driving vehicles on the road. And I didn't know about the connection with Uber. Didn't do that math. But that's probably a key element to this growth.
Yeah. And, the ROI for them is their biggest expense. They don't own any vehicles today.
Right.
Their expense is the commissions for the drivers, right?
Okay.
If you take that out of the equation, you invest in the vehicles. Now, you've got vehicles collecting money for you 24 hours a day. The ROI on that is ridiculous. In fact, Tesla said by 2018, they're going to have the self-driving vehicles fully autonomous on the road. And I'll talk about that in a moment, what that means. But part of the plan is that you loan out your Tesla as an autonomous driving vehicle that will earn money for you while you're at work, while you're sleeping, so that your vehicle is doing what Uber's vehicles are doing to kind of offset the cost of owning that vehicle itself.
I just think of, I'm not a guy that's totally into possessions. However, I don't think I want anybody else driving my car.
They won't. They'll just sit in it
They'll just
as your
sit in
car
it,
drives
and
them around.
And they'll spill their latte in the back and
They might.
and have
they
their
might.
French fries there.
That's when your cleaner will come in and charge them.
Is my cleaner going to be a robot as well? I mean, like Rosie from the Jetsons? Or
Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. Oh, man.
a Roomba in the back seat?
This is great. This
There
is
you
great.
go.
So in 2004, just to give you an idea, where all this started. So DARPA, right, the Defense Research Committee, held a competition in the Mojave Desert.
Okay.
And they invited all the smartest researchers in the country to come out, including Carnegie Mellon, and said, look, there's this straight, very straight, with a couple of little curves, stretch of road, 150 miles long. We want you to put together a self-driving vehicle. We think it's time. And put all the sensors you want, do whatever. So they had about they had 10 cars show up from different folks. Only one of the cars made it even 7 miles out of the 150, and that was from Carnegie Mellon. Most of them flipped, ended up in a ditch, wouldn't start, wouldn't do anything. That was just 12 years ago. And today, interestingly, it's Carnegie Mellon partnered with Uber, but that's where they started doing all this stuff. So it was deemed that at that time computers could never replace humans.
Never.
On real roads. Now that you have kids, running into the streets, you got all these traffic signals, you got truck drivers coming. And think about that. So 2004, we did that. 2010, Google revealed that they had hundreds of thousands of hours of self-driving vehicles already logging time on the roads of the Mountain View, California area.
And they didn't get caught.
They didn't. Well, they had drivers sit in front.
Yeah, but did they tell the police officers that they were doing that?
They didn't get any tickets. They only logged 2 accidents, and those 2 accidents were by other vehicles hitting them. So think about that. Now in 2016, we've actually got these things front and center. Everybody in the tech industry says at this point, the technology will get there far sooner than the policies and the lawmakers. And so, what do I mean by where? Well, let's talk about what we mean by autonomy. So, level 3 autonomy in self-driving cars is, it can drive by itself in most cases, but humans still need to be there for critical tasks and to take over. Which means that you could be reading a book and then the car says take over, and you look and you're about to hit a semi. Which is kind of dangerous, right?
Doesn't
it's
sound
not
like
great.
a fun moment in my life.
Yeah, right. Level 4 autonomy is, hey, we don't even need a human. We don't need a steering wheel. So level 4 is where the holy grail is of these manufacturers.
Gotcha. So you're saying that we are at level 3 or approaching level 3 rapidly.
Level 4 we're approaching.
Well, okay. Well, I'm still a level 2 guy myself, or maybe even a level 1. How about if I just walk? Is that okay? Guys, they're going to take me kicking and screaming. I don't want to give up my steering wheel. I'm very sorry. But you guys out there, give me your opinion on it. Would you be interested in giving up your steering wheel to someone you can't see, touch, or feel? Or would you still prefer to have Alfred, the butler, take you where you need to go? You remember Alfred. We're going to take a quick break here on Tech Talk 2020. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with more dazzling information and conversation about autonomous driving here on WINT Radio 101.5 FM and 1330 AM. Talk to you soon.
Pat O'Brien Chevrolet is Ohio's #1 Chevy retailer, which means we sell more new Chevys than anybody. That means we take in more fresh trades, over 1,000 used vehicles, all makes and models, sale price to move out immediately. Save time and money at Pat O'Brien Chevrolet.
What does fun sound like? Let's ask Lost Nation Sports Park.
It's way back and gone.
Nothing but net. Goal!
It's in the hole.
Back to the end zone. Touchdown.
Down the hatch. Ice cold.
The sound of fun brought to you by Lost Nation Sports Park.
It's car season at Pat O'Brien Chevrolet. No other dealer in Ohio has more or sells more new Chevys. No matter where you are, you're just a short drive from our huge inventory, which saves you time. And upfront pricing saves you money. We got them. Come get them at Pat O'Brien Chevrolet.
It's back to school season, and Lake Tran can ease your transportation worries. Lakeland Community College and Holden University Center students can ride Lake Tran local routes 1 through 6 for free. Just swipe your student ID when boarding the bus. Students can ride anywhere in Lake County, not just to class. Need to get to work, a doctor's appointment, or just running errands? Ride free anytime, anywhere, and even transfer to RTA. Visit laketran.com to plan your trip or check out the closest bus with real-time tools. Lake Tran. Hop on. We'll drive.
WINT is now on 101.5 FM. Louder, cleaner, bigger, and better. WINT is now on 101.5 FM. Nighttime, daytime, anytime. WINT is now on 101.5 FM. Kennedy, Ingram, Ramsey, and Lash. WINT is now on 101.5 FM. WINT 101.5 FM.
Welcome back to Tech Talk 2020 with Sanjay Parker, the show where we get smarter together. Thanks everybody for joining. Today we are talking about autonomous driving or self-driving vehicles. We are having so much fun with this. Mike is just picking out what color autonomous driving vehicle he's going to buy in the near future.
Purple.
That's perfect.
Everybody knows that's my favorite color. Everybody that knows me, I love purple.
So we're talking about level 3 and level 4 autonomy. Level 3 is where a human's still needed for certain situations. Level 4 is where you don't need a human or a steering wheel.
You don't.
In a minute, I want to talk about the amazing things we can do once there's no steering wheel in a vehicle.
How could you say you don't need another person? That's just bad.
So there was a death this year.
Okay.
Of a Tesla driver using an autopilot function.
I remember seeing a little bit about that. It had something to do with the sunshine, didn't it?
Yeah, his name was Joshua Brown from Ohio, tech guy, and he loved his Tesla, posted lots of videos, and he was actually using the autopilot functionality driving down, 4-lane road. I think it was a highway kind of, but there was a semi that took a sharp left turn in front of him, and autopilot saw that, but couldn't distinguish it from the sky because it was bright, a white truck, and the sky was kind of bright that day. It also, has algorithms that tries to detect overhead road signs, and since that came up on his view so quickly, he didn't have time to stop. He went underneath the vehicle, car kept going, and the stats on that is that it's going to be death.
Sure.
37 deaths happen a year where people drive themselves under this. There's some lobbying for a preventative type of technology on the trucks that would prevent those deaths, but since the numbers are pretty low, it's not something that got a lot of traction. If that Tesla hit the cab of the vehicle, the tires, the back, in all likelihood, the safety of the vehicle would have protected the driver. He would have been alive, probably. So what Tesla did is, they're not using LiDARs, right? It's a very expensive technology. I think it was $120,000 per unit. A few years ago, now it's down to, I think, $40,000 per unit. Just doesn't make sense on a consumer vehicle. So what they use instead is, the camera to do algorithmic sensing, and they have all kinds of other sensors around. There is a radar on every Tesla vehicle that's not used for primary detection, but Elon Musk just released an update that says we're going to use a radar for the primary detection so we can see, through all kinds of things. His comment on the LiDAR as well is that LiDAR is going to be very poor in fog dense or snow situations, so you really need something that uses sound, which is a little bit better. So
research is great because there's so many things sometimes we just kind of overlook and don't think about. And you just brought one up that I was headed towards. We mentioned earlier weather conditions and road conditions. We know them quite well here in Northeast Ohio. That I remember last January traveling at a crazy rate of speed to the hospital late at night down at university, and the ambulance took 90, but because I'm smarter not smarter than the ambulance guys, but because I was at a different location actually in the city, I took Route 2 downtown. And I know I was told years ago by an ODOT guy that if you have to go in a bad storm, choose Route 2 over 90, simply because if you do get in some serious trouble, you can walk to people's homes and you only get to civilization easier off of 2 than 90. 90 is more remote. So that was just you're further from people's home, from residences. But anyway, it was a bad night, and our friend was being transported from the hospital. So again, the ambulance took 90, and we took Route 2, and we actually beat them there.
Wow.
So it's just little things there. So Tesla or autonomous driving, sometimes going to need a little bit of human touch, because when it comes into the fact of you use your GPS to locate a facility or place that you're headed to, oftentimes you can fake that out a little bit with your brain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there's an app called Waze.
I've heard of Waze
that uses sensing of other vehicles traveling. So on 90 or 2, it'll see which one's going faster. So it'll map the fastest route. It'll also take road hazard conditions from people. So we'll use humans for that data input. But the thing that does is, instead of always telling you to get on the highway or the closest highway, it'll say, I'm going to take you the fastest way. I've challenged Waze sometimes, and I've always been burned. There's always an unforeseen traffic jam or something like that. But yeah, you're right. That we're still going to need the human touch. We're going to need to think as humans, even when the computers think for us. I still think we're going to think more slowly, and we're going to leverage the computers for their fast processing and easy things. For example, I'm beginning to think, I'm getting a little bit more extreme on this. I really think there's a technology solution for everything. You know what just happened? I just read about an app last week. It's totally sidebar, but there's an app you can download and take your eye test on it, and it submits the results to an optometrist, and you get your prescription written like that without going into an eye doctor.
Okay.
If we can do that with technology, I think there's no limit. And
I'm not going to argue with you. There things are reaching a point of craziness. I mean, there's an automated pizza thing being pizza machine now in the dorms in I think it's Southern Ohio. Xavier is the college. There's an automated pizza machine. You charge it on your cell phone, and the next thing you know, you're sitting there and you get a pizza in 5 minutes. And I remember being in my college days when we had to wait 20 minutes for a $20 pizza. It was just baking for 20 minutes. It didn't get to us till 35 for 40 minutes.
Right,
It was things that progress. It just makes us fatter, though.
Yeah.
So, Sanjay, you're trying to make me fatter.
No.
Fatter.
No.
I'm going to sit around and just look at data and get fatter. That's right.
All your dreams are shattered. Okay.
I don't have to drive no more because I'm getting fatter. And I got my car driving for me. So everybody's going to be fat in America.
We're going to do a future show about bots, too, how they're replacing humans. Pretty cool stuff. Not for humans, but for the people.
I want to talk about food, too, because food's accessibility.
I love food. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, food's accessibility is another thing, but that's another show.
Definitely. So we're at this, juncture where now we've got real world meeting with development models that are being put to test out in our environment. Pittsburgh is a great city to test that, because they do have inclement weather like ours. They do have hills.
Right.
They do have situations. The Uber developers are looking forward to getting data on that, right? And it may be a long time before a human will trust an autonomous vehicle on an icy, snowy road.
Oh, yeah.
But at some point, it's going to get better. Elon Musk said, you'll see level 4 autonomy being accepted when it's, I think he said 100 times faster or 100 times more reliable than human driving.
Yeah, and I think that places that you mentioned, better climates, for driving, might be definitely a more acceptable route. Because, think about it. If you live in Buffalo, do you want to hear about autonomous driving when they got 7 feet of snow last year, in a 2-day period? They don't want to hear about autonomous driving. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe we'll get to that point because, again, technology that you seem to embrace with a little abnormal fashion is going to eventually grow.
And don't just think about the consumer.
Right.
In Buffalo, with 7 feet of snow, you get autonomous snowplows out there plowing all day and night. Just like I said, earlier to you before we started the show, if you're always prepared, you'll never have to get ready.
Okay.
Right. So if those things are out there, like that lawn bot I'm going to get, it's going to cut my grass 7 days a week next year. It's going to be great. It's just going to always cut, so it never looks like it's not cut. Is that amazing?
Yeah, it is amazing. It sounds
always
amazing.
ready.
I was on my mower yesterday.
So
doing your robot's job.
But really, this self-driving thing is more about more than just safety. It's definitely going to be better than humans. It's also something that, it's a waste of time. We talk about the average commute being 25.1 minutes in the U.S. in cities. 75% of those cars are with just single drivers in there. One person who's driving, who shouldn't be on their phone, who shouldn't be doing something else. Often we are. But imagine if that car or vehicle was driving somebody where they could sit in the back and they can catch up on their email. They could go ahead and watch some, news to catch up. They might shave, right? I know people are still doing that, shaving and putting on their makeup when they're driving, but maybe they're able to do it, more effectively in the back.
Hey, I'll put my makeup on in the car, but not shave.
Yeah. So I think safety will have to be the selling point. If we look at the auto industry, that's always how they've introduced things. Anti-lock brakes, airbags, more reinforced vehicles. All of that stuff is safety, but then it will boil down to productivity, convenience, and then the it factor. And so we'll see all of that happen in that cycle like we always have.
The Uber vehicle or the vehicle that comes to pick me up and drive me autonomously to work, again, Uber situation, is probably going to be nicer than my cars. They got to make them sexy, right?
Yeah, they got to be cool. I mean, it's going to be safe, quick. Who knows what'll be in it? Maybe it'll be cheaper if you have to watch ads like in a New York City taxi cab. Think about getting every person who potentially could be driving while under the influence away from the steering wheel, right? And we cut down on those kind of accidents and deaths. I think that would be quite amazing.
I do have a quick question. The guy that did have the accident here in Ohio, was he in the front seat or the back seat?
Yeah, no, he was in the front seat. Okay. The rumor was, I don't know what this is, not the rumor, but the truck driver who he hit said he was watching a video on his vehicle. He had a handheld, a portable video player, DVD player. He was watching a movie while he was traveling. Who knows if that's the case? There's still research, but in any case, it was a very tragic accident. He had a family, and I guess in his tech world, maybe if he can trigger a bunch of changes and improve technology, then that loss wouldn't be completely for naught.
I completely get that one. I understand that. So, driving. Cool.
So less deaths, more time, more productivity, and cooler experiences within cars. Where can we sign up?
Well, we're excited about it, and I got to say, I'm excited about seeing FC Teslas in the parking lots here and there, and on the road now and again, and they do gather my attention and my concern. Oh, not concern. Is there anybody driving? No.
Freudian.
We'll get there. Hey, listen, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to Tech Talk 2020 tonight. Again, we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you as a listener, whether you pick us up on live or on Twitter or some of our posts on YouTube or wherever you find us, it's fine. But continue to let us know what you're thinking. We love this show, and we'd like to do more of it. We got some exciting things to talk about Tech Talk 2020 in the future here, so stay tuned and stay excited. Again, welcome again, and I'm sorry, not welcome again, goodbye, and thanks for tuning in to Tech Talk 2020 here on WINT Radio 101.5 FM and 1330 AM, and also WINTradio.com.